Hi guys, today you are going to be working on your ornament for the Christmas tree. Once these are made, we will start hanging them up out on the trees next week, and then right before winter break we will take them all down so that you guys can take them home. In 6th grade, we make all of ours out of paper, and for you guys, you are going to be making the poinsettia. And so you can see it's going to be made of different petals or layers of the flower that have been cut out in leaves, and then a pipe cleaner to twist it onto the tree in the back, and a brad to hold it all into place. And so today you're going to need to get one red paper that you like, that you want to make your flower out of, and then a smaller green paper that is going to be used for your leaves. You will also then need a pattern that gives you the shape to trace on your paper. So the patterns look something like this in your bag, and you do need to share with your neighbor. And inside it, you will have the different pieces. You will have the 4 sections for the flower that are each a different size. You will also have a set of leaves as well. So then when you get your paper, the green sheets have been cut down so that they're smaller, but you can pick which green you like best, and then your leaves would get traced on that paper. And you're welcome to use just a pencil to trace them, or if you would like, you can use a skinny black Sharpie to trace those lines as well, so they show up a little bit better. And then you will need to pick a color of either the red, the pink, or kind of some of the variations of white to trace your flower petals on. And then you'll want to make sure that as you trace those, you hold them nicely in place, and be careful as you trace them. The more precisely you trace and then cut out later, the better your poinsettia will turn out. So once you have everything traced, and like I said, you will need to share the patterns with your neighbors. So maybe one of you start with a big flower and one of you start with leaves, and then just kind of rotate as you keep tracing each one. When you're all finished, please make sure all 4 flower patterns and your leaf get put back in your plastic bag. And then those will need to go back up front. Then you are going to need to cut them out, and you are welcome to use the big scissors up front, or you are welcome to use the smaller ones in your bin. And like I said, you're going to want to be super careful as you cut out all your flowers, especially between all your grooves, because you don't want to cut off a petal or cut partway through a petal. And same thing on the leaves. You want to be super careful as you're cutting down here in between them that you don't cut your leaves off from the middle piece that attaches. So once all your pieces are cut out, they look something like this. So you've got all your flower pieces and you have your leaf piece. And once they're cut out, then you are ready to start putting it together. To put it together, you're going to need one of these that is called a fastener or a brad. And it has the tongs down here at the end and then that round spot at the top. You are also going to need a pipe cleaner that will attach to the back at the end so that it can be onto the tree. Now we put these together so that this round top becomes the middle of your flower on your poinsettia. That means you're going to want to start with the smallest one first and work your way up to the biggest, and then attach the leaves on the very back. So as I do this, I kind of like to take them and run my finger up them and kind of curl the petals a little bit. And then you're going to take your fastener, and that is going to need to be poked right through the middle and pushed all the way through. Once you have the first one down, like I said, we're going to go smallest to biggest. So then you're going to get your next one. And as you place this one on, you kind of want to rotate the petals so that they're not lined up right next to each other. What I mean by that is, see how I'm turning this top one so that those petals kind of go in the gap between the petals on the second one. This will just help it make it look more like a realistic flower rather than just a stack of paper. And so then we keep going with each one. And once again, I'm just running my fingernail across it down that middle to make it curve a little bit. And then we poke it through the middle, kind of twist it to where you want it. And then we move on to the next one. And you don't have to curve your ends if you don't want to. If you just want them all flat, that is fine too. When you get this last one on, then your next step will be your leaves. Before you put your leaves on though, I would need you to turn them over to the back And I need you to write your name on a petal, and I need you to write your teacher's letter. Okay, that way we know whose is whose when we hand them all back. So then once your name is on it, the brad goes through this middle part down here. And you got to be careful with this one because it's smaller and a little more fragile with your leaves, and you just slip it on where you would like it to go. Once you have all your flower petals put together where you want them, and you can kind of twist them and move them where you like it, flip it over onto the back, and you're going to take your brad, your fastener pieces here, and open them up and press them down. Then your flower's all attached. So now you just need to add the pipe cleaner so that we can twist it onto the tree. So this is going to slide under one side, curve, and go under the other so that it's also connected to the brad. And then you just twist it at the end, and then you're good to go. And now your poinsettia is finished and ready to be attached to the tree.